After the Federal Treasurer urged Australians to have more babies to help save the economy, parenting support services say demand for help has never been higher. From travel restrictions to job insecurity, many new parents are struggling to deal with the impacts of the coronavirus pandemic.
At 7 months pregnant, Parul Pawa is busy preparing for the arrival of her new baby. But with no family in Australia aside from her young daughter and husband, who is recovering from a stroke, she's worried about how she'll cope.
I'm stressed, but I cannot do anything. I want my mother-in-law should be here, my brother-in-law should be here, but they cannot come.
Ms Pawa says the government's border closure to all non-citizens and non-residents means her extended family in India won't be allowed to visit. And even if they're able to secure an exemption on compassionate grounds, they'd struggle to afford the high cost of flights and hotel quarantine.
I just think that they just reduce the fees for the quarantine period because it's 3,000 is a lot.
It's a concern shared by many other new and expectant parents impacted by the coronavirus pandemic. Sydney mother Nikki Valady gave birth to a son 3 months ago and planned to have her mother fly over from Spain to help.
You know, it's a lot of work with the baby, but it was more than I thought. So I really would enjoy the support and also from it here to be with his grandma and family.
Parenting support groups say despite calls from the Federal Treasurer last month for more Australians to have children, there's never been a more challenging time to start a family.
Isolation is the biggest cause of postnatal depression and anxiety. And what we're finding now with COVID is that mothers are even more isolated than ever before.
The National Perinatal Anxiety and Depression Service says it's had a 20% rise in calls for help since March.
We've had a 40% increase in calls from Victoria in the last 2 weeks alone that are really feeling displaced, anxious, depressed.
In Australia, the birth rate has fallen 14% over the past decade. Demographers say that's a trend expected to worsen.
People need to feel confident about the future, about the economy and about their own lives before they bring a child into the world. So we're going to see low birth rates, perhaps even declining birth rates for a few years to go.
But for those already having children during a global pandemic, there's this advice.
Definitely to go out and not isolate yourself at home. I think that's very important. Even if you're not allowed to be in restaurants, you can always go to the parks and there's groups like that.
Cassandra Bain, SBS World News.